it's difficult. I think a couple of speakers before Dr. Rajiv Nath, he started the session with, he's between the lunch. Now after about 20 minutes of session, now I have to talk about 10 minutes. So I hope. Nevertheless, I will make it very interesting, sure. And myself, Karthikeyan. So can I have the slide change? Yeah. So last week I was in another summit like this in Ahmedabad. And I liked one of the eminent speaker on telemedicine. He started the session saying that, can we have a hospital which has no patients, barring for the stay and then procedures? I think the question which you have asked is that, it is same, like, are we getting into that status of not having patients to come for the hospital for any of the basic needs, and then only for procedures and stay, they come for critical patients, they come there. That is only possible when with these kind of technologies, what we have listened from today morning, starting from Dr. Sharma, who talked about 6 points, which was gamuts of activities which government is doing it, and with we had Dr. Sandeep talking about telemedicine, and then PACS. There is another speaker who talked about Dr. Bakshi talked about integrations. All those things only possible when we are adopting the technologies, and actually. So that's where I thought, I'll put it across my topic as, making the healthcare better. How do we, partner with, healthcare providers and then, hospitals to ensure that we can make the healthcare better? And when the changing, the technologies and then the ever-changing standards in patient care and then diverse patient needs are really challenging, so thereby we keep adopting the technologies, and then that's how these kind of summits, which will help to have these collective learning to face these challenges. And with this, so we from Stryker, partnering with this challenging task, and rather I take this opportunity to share with you a small journey of Stryker, how it has changed for past 80 years, the healthcare industry, and then healthcare, making healthcare better. So this started very humble beginning with Dr. Homer Stryker, starting with 1937, and then he started with this, wedge transport, stretcher with patient, how he built it, and then it started with a cutting, cost cutting machine, which was that initial. Instrumentation what he has found out, and then ever since there has been a significant development, and then the product portfolio has been added, and then his quote is actually you make the equipments which work. If it can't work, then make it work. If you can't make it, then make something which you will do in that way. And with this, probably whatever we believe in Stryker is about, with the innovative product and solutions. This is why we are doing it. So together with our customers, we are driven to make healthcare better. So we stand by 4 values of ours, which help us to live our mission. And then a small glance of what Stryker is all about. So many things which are mentioned there, but I wanted to have your attention towards the R&D what we have. So close to about 800 million, which is spent on the R&D, which we have. Even in India, there is the big team which is working on for the global technology development, which is about 300 people right here in Gurgaon, working for the global health R&D department for Stryker, which brings in so many products out for the market. And Stryker has about 3 verticals, which has med-surg, and then neurotech and spine, and orthopedic. So med-surg is primarily all equipments which are used in the hospital equipments, probably I'll say capital equipment. And then orthopedic, you would have seen that we have the newer acquisitions which is coming in, which has increased our portfolio, like robots and things like it. I'll talk to you about in the next slide. And Stryker, with the changing needs for the patients and then the healthcare professionals, so we have been adopting the newer technologies by the way of acquisitions and then mergers. If you see, these are all the gamuts of acquisitions which has happened in past 5 years or 6 years about what's happened. If you see that quite a few which are already there in the India market, which are changing the way we are delivering the healthcare for the patients in terms of the, if I can just give you a couple of things. One is the Mako, which is orthopedic robot, probably the first time in the world which is coming to India. And then we have the Burstol, which are about lights and tables and integrations. And then we have newer, the last one was that Safer, which is talking about the most of the surgeons would be dreadful about when they are operating in the laparoscopy, about the fumes and things like it. This is safely how to evacuate that fumes. That is that. And this is the depth and specialization. I will not go into much into this. So just I have mentioned to you about the Mako robot, which is there. And then the medical and surgical equipment, what I was talking to you is about. We have in terms of starting from beds and then to the highest level integration, which can give that the hospital to be connected with throughout the world in terms of like integration. What we are talking about, how the doctor can be interacting with outside the world when he is operating. Those things are possible with integrations, and that is what we are talking about it. And then there are newer laparoscopy equipment which are coming in with a significant impact in the clinical advantage for the patients, like Novatech. That was the last acquisition in Stryker, which has increased the gamut of usage of the ICG in even open surgical cases. And this is from the just a small gist about from the entrance to the hospital and then to the the epicenter of the hospital to that OT. We have everything in offering in Stryker, which starts with the stretchers which are kept in outside, and then the patient wheelchairs, and then you have, once you go inside that OPD, we have an examination lights, and then once you get into that ICU beds, which has we have an epic bed, which is high standard beds, which are even with the patient just tilting it, probably it give you a signal, so thereby patients are taken care. And then after getting inside the OT, about OT lights and tables and integrations, which is the highest level of technological edge, which will give it for the center, for the surgeon, and the benefit for the patient as well. And then you have gynae centers, if you MIS. So this could be of a complementary each other in terms of laparoscopic instruments and then birthing suits and everything. So also I have told you about all these things. Just a small video, if I can show it to you, about how we are offering in terms of taking the healthcare better by a simple integration, which I can show it to you. Can you just put the video on? It's only part of what we do in Stryker. Apart from this, so many other activities, and then in terms of the technologies, what we do. So looking forward for you to have when we are there in the face-to-face meeting. Thank you very much.